Hi friends, welcome to Crack Grade B. We are back with yet another important lecture on the current affairs series where we bring out to you the lectures from the date 10th of November and 11th of November 2021. Right? So now, as you all know that we cover extensively from PIB, Indian Express, The Hindu, Down to Earth and Business Standard, Mint. And also we do refer to other sources as and when it is required, right? So we bring out to you the news material that are very important for your phase two. Let's begin with the first news article. Union Cabinet, this is about the MP lads, right? Member of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme. Okay, so the scheme has been bought by the current government, right? So in the first tenure of this government, it tried a different model, but it did not succeed because of the bureaucratic structure. Then it came out with this scheme, Member of Parliament Local Area Developmental Scheme. Now, what is there in the news? The Union Cabinet has approved the restoration and continuation of MP LAT scheme. So due to COVID, this has been stopped. So in April last year, the government has suspended MP LATs during 2021 and 2022 and said that the fund would be used for managing health service and the adverse impact of the COVID-19 in the country. Now, what amount of fund were given to each MP? It was rupees 2 crore per MP, right? And the MP were, can use this fund in their constituency for any kind of developmental program. So, and what is there in the news next? During the remaining part of financial year 21-22 means as of now, it will run till March 2022, March 31st, 2022, up to financial year 2025-26. Okay, yeah, in this financial it is March 2022 and also it will run till 31st March 2026. Co-terminus with a period of 15th Finance Commission. Okay, till the time 15th Finance Commission is running till 26, this MP led scheme will also work. Okay, now again, as per the news, it is fund will be released under the scheme at a rate of 5 crore per annum to each MP in two installment of 2.5 crore each. So this is again there in the news and you should know it. Now let's move forward. Ethanol blended petrol program. Now you see, due to climatic change and cost of importing crude oil, these two reason, these are the two major reason that India wants to shift towards ethanol blending. Still in the petrol, ethanol 10% ethanol is there, but India wants it to increase. Now, when we increase the blending of ethanol into the petrol, it is obvious that we would need ethanol, right? Now, from where does this ethanol come? There has to be some setup in the country so that again this ethanol should not be imported. Then there is no use if we are importing crude oil on the one hand. On the other hand, if we are importing the ethanol and we are blending it in India, then there is no reason, right? So so this ethanol blending petrol program is like ethanol should be made in India. Now, what Economic Affairs Committee led by the Prime Minister has given approval for fixing higher ethanol price derived from different sugarcane based raw material under the EBP program for the forthcoming sugar season of 22-21 and 1st December 2022 30th November 2021. So till this time the ethanol derived, the approval is given and all these points are related to that, like the price of ethanol from the C heavy molasses route to be increased from rupees 45.69 per liter to rupees 46.66 per liter, right? And you can read all these things. So this is, all these price points are not so important, but what is important, why this program is important. right? So the news item that you already know that the government has fixed the price. But on the first hand, why? Okay, you should ask yourself, since NABARD, you are done with the NABARD, now the next target is RBI. For the people who are also preparing for RBI, and the people who are the new entrant into this exam this year, will means the people who will be giving for the first time should understand why this news is important, right? Background story is this: the India is, the import bill is high. On the other hand, climatic climate condition, right? I mean the climate changes. So this news is important. Now let's move to the next news article, that is price support for rupees 17,408.85 crore to the Cotton Corporation of India. So Cotton Corporation of India, the Economic Affair Committee led by the Prime Minister, has committed the price support of 17,408.85 crore to the Cotton Corporation of India for the cotton season from 2014-15 to 2021 up to 30/09/2021. Now, what are the other things that we should know? Cotton is one of the most important cash crop and plays a major role in sustaining livelihood of around 58 lakh cotton farmer and 400 to 500 lakh people engaged in related activities such as cotton processing and trade. So see, cotton in Middle India is very important, right? So every part of India, farmers are engaged in different kind of thing. So cotton in central India plays a major role. Then, during cotton season, area under cultivation is 133 lakh hectare with an estimated production of 306 lakh bales. Right? So this is the measurement for the cotton, which accounts for around 25% of the total global cotton production. So one fourth of the global cotton production is from India. So how important is to support Cotton Corporation of India and the farmer who are engaged in the production of cotton, right? Then let's move forward with the next news article: reservation norms for jute packaging material. The Cabinet Committee of Economic Affairs, chaired by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, has approved reservation norms for mandatory use of jute in packaging the jutier. Now, see what is jute? The brown color sack that comes, that thing. So, reservation has been made, and it has been made compulsory. What kind of compulsory? The mandatory packaging now approved for the jute year 21-22 provide 100% reservation of food grains and 20% of sugar to be compulsorily packed in jute bag. So whosoever is the company, okay, into the manufacturing of the or packaging of food grains and the sugar, they have to compulsorily use jute bags for the food grains and 20% for sugar, right? Why this is important? Now, why there is a need to make this thing mandatory is because to support that industry. So in the Eastern India, in the Eastern India, state like West Bengal, okay, and some part of Assam also. So there are many farmers who are into this industry, jute industry. Means their livelihood depends on jute. And if this vanishes due to plastic and due to different modern techniques, then these people are going to the life of these people will hamper, right? So to support this industry and also make them Atmanirbhar. Since there is a campaign running out Atmanirbhar Bharat, this has been made mandatory so that more and more people use and the industry will flourish, right? So every part of the economy is important, irrespective of its size and quantum of contribution into the mainstream economy. So let's say when you see jute industry, it might seems very small, but even that a small industry has an impact in the overall economy, even that a small industry supports multiple lives, right? So that is why this kind of reservation is important when you want to support, when a government want to support that industry and make it flourish, right? So let's move. Next, the United States of America becomes the 101 member country of what? International Solar Alliance. Now, where is the International Solar Alliance headquarter? This is for you to comment in the comment section, and along with the who is the chair of the ISA, right? Now, so who has launched? This is about the International Solar Alliance, right? Now, USA has become 101 members. So till now, USA was not the part of the International Solar Alliance because the previous government in the USA, led by Donald J. Trump, did not give that much importance to the climate. Okay, so he had never talked about the climate. Okay, so he had some different views in terms of climate conditions and climate changes. So let's not discuss that. So that is the reason it is. The US is joining this International Solar Alliance so late, right? And only this thing is important. And the other thing that is important is the, is the OSOG, OSOW and OG. So what is this? One sun, one world, one grid. Okay, this is the initiative. And along with this, the United States has also joined the steering committee of this One Sun, One World, and One Grid, comprising of five members. Who are those? USA, Australia, France, United Kingdom, and India. So it was started initially by the initiative from the India and United Kingdom. Okay, and endorse the One Sun Declaration along the 80 countries. Right. So let's move to the next news article, that is e-Amrit portal on EVs at COP26. EV means electronic vehicles. So e-Amrit. So India has launched a web portal on the EVs at the ongoing COP Summit, Glasgow, UK. So what is e-Amrit? E-Amrit is a one-stop destination for all information on electric vehicles, busting myth around the adoption of EVs, their purchase, investment opportunities, policy and subsidies, etc. Means it is e-Amrit is a portal where you can get the every detail of EVs, right? Like there can be many questions. Question in the sense, question in the sense like, what if I purchase an EV? Where will I charge? What is the amount of electricity units that I will have to spend? Right. So, what is the life cycle of that vehicle? What about the battery warranty? And also, all this, there are many fake things coming in. And also, people do not have much knowledge on EV because this is something new. This is a transformation from the petrol and diesel engines to the EVs, right? So, in this transition phase, more or less everyone has little knowledge because it is emerging. So when things emerge, many questions come and many questions remains unanswered for this so long. So to overcome this eAmrit portal has been launched. This is a very good initiative. The portal has been developed and hosted by Niti Aayog under a collaborative knowledge exchange program with the UK government as a part of UK India Joint Roadmap 2030, signed by the Prime Minister of two countries. Right? Remember, UK India Joint Roadmap 2030. eAmrit intends to complement initiatives of the government on raising awareness on EV, sanitizing customers on benefits of switching to electric vehicles. In the recent past, so this is about the old scheme. So old schemes are like PLI, and the famous scheme. Famous scheme is very old, right? So it is not for the, it is for the state government and the urban local bodies, right, to shift to the EVs. So this is again a very good initiative. Okay, and the background story you should know why. So everything that you should ask yourself and try to find out why. And when you become when you can answer few lines regarding why with every news, you are becoming someone who could write a very good answer in the descriptive paper. Now, let's move to the number 7. Domestic air passenger traffic grew by whooping 67% year on year. So, this is a report by ICRA which says that the domestic air passengers grew by 67%. So, again, you see this 67% whenever you see in when some data comes as of now, okay, the percentage is very high. It's because of low base effect. So we have been explaining this why low base effect in many videos, right? So let me not repeat what is low base effect, but yes, you can say that a whooping 67% year on year, around 87 to 88 lakh in October, right? Now, let's move to next news article, that is Harbinger 2021. The Reserve Bank of India will be organizing its first global hackathon on the theme of digital payment. Harbinger 2021, Innovation for Transformation, with the theme Smarter Digital Payment. We'll see participants identify and develop solutions that are potential to make digital payment accessible to underserved. Now you see, this is a hackathon, right? Hackathon means where people will participate. So maybe the students from IIT or research team from IIT, okay, or someone working as a freelancer can come and participate, and and during this process, many technology emerges. Like UPI is one of the example, right? So this is a hackathon regarding technology innovation ideas. So the winner will get 40 lakhs and the runner-up is going to get 20 lakhs. So this is a very big sum. Let's move to the next news article, that is RBI lift restriction on Dinner Club. So Dinner Club is a card issuer like Visa and MasterCard. So on our Dinner Club, American Express, and Mastercard. So these were banned by the RBI. Why? Because their data centers were not in India, right? So RBI had a norm to keep the data center in India. So they have been banned, and now Dinner Club has been lifted from that restriction. Maybe Dinner Club's data center has been changed to India, right? But American Express and Mastercard continues to be on the ban list of the Reserve Bank of India. Number 10, COP26, gap between rich and poor countries. Right? So the 2-week climate conference in Glasgow first saw head of the government talking about how curbing global warming is a fight for survival. The leader focused on big picture, not the intricate wording crucial to negotiation. Okay, so you see, these are the things. United Nations has three goals out of Glasgow, which so far are outreach. Cutting carbon dioxide emission by half in 2030, rich nation giving poor nation 100 billion a year for combating climate change, and ensure that half of that money goes to adapting to the climate change increasing harms. Now, why again? You see, this is very easy. So when you see developed nations like USA, okay, Europe, UK. So why this a developed nation? Because of the industrialization, right? So you see USA, it's responsible for I think 27% of the carbon, and European Union, I think it's 17%, right? So you see this developed nation are having so much money with them, is already industrialized. They are contributing to the global carbon footprint the max. And on the other hand, now these are the people who are talking about cutting carbon dioxide, means cutting the industry. As of now, the arrangement is like if you want to open an industry, there has to be some or the other carbon output, right? Means it is harming the environment in one or the other way. Either it be industrial waste, water pollution, air pollution, or anything like that, right? And now these are the countries they are talking about cutting the carbon emission. Means they are asking the less developed nation or the developing nation not to industrialize, because there is no other way out, right? Even if you see, if India wants to produce electricity without thermal power station, it needs nuclear power station, right? And in order to run the nuclear power station, India needs uranium. Now, where will India bring the uranium? Because India is not a part of NSG, okay, nuclear supplier group. So India cannot get uranium. And also uranium is a thing cannot be given to every other country, because atom bombs can be made using uranium, the nuclear bombs can be made using uranium. So there are problems. Okay, if you are uh, the current arrangement is made at that time considering all this situation. Now again those situations are in front of us. These are the challenges. Like uranium cannot be given to every other country because uranium can be used for making atom bombs and nuclear bombs and all. So so the key financial issue is 100 billion a year pledge, first made in 2009. So all the developed nation made a pledge that they will give 100 billion to the developing nation. The developed nation still haven't reached the 100 billion a year mark. This year, the rich nation increased their aid to 80 billion a year, still short of what promised. While China is now the number one carbon polluter, in India is number three carbon dioxide stays in the air for centuries. Means China and India, this these two countries will continue to pollute the environment for few centuries still because of the population, right? China is the world's biggest populated country, and number two is India, and everything cannot be changed within a period of 5 to 10 years or 20 or 30 years, right? It takes longer time. So based on the historical emissions, this stuff is still in the atmosphere, tapping heat. The United States and European Asian are the most responsible for the climate change, right? So in the last I told, I think it's 27%, it's 17%, right? So let's move to the next news article, that is Global Resilience Index Initiative, GRII. 10 global organizations with a partial funding and in-kind contribution from the insurance sector and the partner institution have launched a Global Resilience Index Initiative, GRIA, at COP26. GRIA will provide a globally consistent model for the assessment of resilience sector all across and geographies. GRIA will be using cross-sector risks modeling experience, including public-private partnership between government, academic, insurance, and engineering. Among the organizations that have come together to launch the GRI are these are the organizations who have launched. Right now, your GRI will be curated. So it's an open source offering high-level metrics across the built environment, infrastructure, agriculture. Means GRI will give the data, right, so that you can use the data uh, and things will go in a good direction considering that data. The mission of the GRI is to address the data emergency that is contributing to the climate crisis by helping sectors. Okay, what I told, you can use that data across the global economy, quantify the value of building climate resilience and cost of doing nothing, right? So let's move to the next news article, that is Niti Aayog Delta ranking in education sector. Okay, it has ranked the most improved aspirational districts in the educational sector for the September month. As per the Niti Aayog Delta ranking in the education sector, Bhupali in Telangana has topped, followed by Chatra and Sahibganj in Jharkhand, Naupada in Odisha, Jaisalmer in Rajasthan. Okay, in the Delta ranking 2021 for this month of September, Baramulla district in the North Kashmir has secured third rank among the aspirational district in a significant development. So this is very important news coming out from the valley. Ranchi and Chatra district in the Jharkhand were ranked first and second position respectively. Okay, Wayanad in Kerala secured fourth, and Sorcery district in UP secured the fifth stop. See, this is in the education sector, right? And this is the Delta ranking of the aspirational district. So both are different. Don't get confused because here Ranchi is the number one, there Hupalli in Telangana is number one. You may get confused. With this, we have come to the end of this lecture. We wish you very good luck for your upcoming examinations like SEBI and RBI. Thank you from Team Crack.